program. So we're about, like halfway through, whatever. But it's really hard to boil down into like one thing. But I will do my best to share a moment. The Lionheart program has really, like all the things that were touched on today, and like being here after starting the program and taking this class way back before I entered into the actual training portion of it, everything that comes up in this class and all the questions, it's all addressed and it's all answered and it's all developed in the certification program. And I can't see how I would be able to walk through the things in my life that I've gone through this past year if I really hadn't had these tools. Having been a caregiver for my mom, someone else in here was a caregiver, for this past year, and kind of at the tail end of performing that service, I've had a lot come up for me, and even just a couple of days ago, I had a very charged experience with another family member, my father, and it just kind of hit me out of the blue. But with the Lionheart skills, the energy work, the self-regulating, the strengthening of the container to be able to hold uncomfortable emotions, and to heal that. I never would have in my prior way of being and handling uncomfortable moments in relationships and things like that. I never would have been able to see that when the uncomfortable thing comes up, it really is dislodging a thing that's been there already. There was no new thing created. It was already there, and the uncomfortableness of it was the opportunity to actually heal it, to see it for what it is, and then the possibility of transformation is possible. So I don't know if that made any sense, but so yeah, while all the energy is still stuck, and we're not feeling it, it just stays there, and then the freedom for the energy to move. I don't know if I want to say too much, but just, I could talk, there's so much that happens in Lionheart. I don't even know. I'm so happy for you that you made it through the door. Grateful to myself that I made it through the door. And I hope that if your intuition, is nudging you, that you do decide to give yourself a little more of Lionheart. So.
Thanks, Tracy. Let's give her a little.
Can I share?
Yeah.
When I first started, I was like in my head. Everything was just completely intellectual, but I loved a lot, so my heart was open. But I was sitting in a circle one time where I actually felt the emotion come into my body. Like it actually came down into my body, and I, cried and reacted and everything. But then when I would drive and hear old songs, I would cry, and watch TV shows, I would cry, and I'm like, what? Like I never had that emotional reaction to different things. But also, it allowed me to really get in touch with myself, and I protested. I don't know if you know, but I protested. I was like, it's safer up here. It's better up here. Like, why would I want to be in my body? But one day I woke up from my nap and I could actually feel my hands and feet were actually warm for the very first time in my life, and I could feel the ecstasy and the energy inside of my hands and feet and in my whole body. And it lasted 24 hours.
Wow.
Although I think I have it now. Because for the last couple of weeks, I feel so strong inside. And I was, she's not probably going to go into it, but I was in the first wound. There's the Gift in the Wound series. It's the birth trauma wound. And so that's how your escape is up here. And so, I don't know what I was going to say, but it's so much better to be in here and to feel grounded, and people, even wherever I go, at my church, they're like, you're different, you seem more graceful and more confident and more, I don't know, I can't say happier because I'm still going through the program, but not in a bad way. Like you get to deal with all that stuff you pushed out, like all your defenses that you no longer want to live in. You can't live in them, so you really have to start dealing with all of your wounds, which is great. It's only a year of your life, and then you get the rest of your life, right?
Yes, you do.
Let's give her Anthony, do you want to say something about it?
Yeah, you know what? God bless Larry and Tracey, because I saw them both when they first came in. In leaps and bounds, you're like a gazelle just jumping over hurdles and despite yourself. You know, despite ourselves.
Yeah.
We do things that that are amazing. Anyways, Anthony. I've been a part of the Lionheart for 2 years now. And I showed up at Lionheart's door after doing a search on the internet. And I went to a Tuesday night little kind of introduction thing at the old Lionheart office. And there was like 3 people there. And I left and I didn't come back for probably about a year after I had a hearing from a Lionheart graduate. And I had that healing. And you talk about the Holy Spirit experience. I know what that is. I had it when I was living in Tennessee, and I came to Lionheart, and I was on the table. But I didn't come to Lionheart yet. I was on the table with this healer, and it was given to me as a gift. And I had an experience that I couldn't explain. I couldn't move my legs, couldn't move my arms, I didn't know what was happening. And I was open. I knew I could feel it. I sat up on the table and I could feel like the length of my back, like somebody had unzipped it and just open. And then the emotion came. And when I got off the table, I could feel the floor and my feet were swollen. It felt heavy, like you said. And when I went to put my shoes on, they didn't fit, you know? And I got it probably about a half a block. And I was asked a question in that session, and I saw something on the street. And I was like, okay, couldn't explain it. I ignored it. I didn't know it, I just received it. I got another half a block, and I had to pull over because the person I called to talk about what I just experienced, called to talk about, and I couldn't drive, I couldn't talk, and the emotion just kept coming. And I knew that I had tapped into something that was deep, and it was me. And you know, fast forward 2 years later, I've gone through a lot of the Lionheart program. Got a certificate, and I'm in the EHC program right now. And if I tell you that I've been catapulted, I'm in a 12-step program. We talk about being catapulted into a 4th dimension. I get catapulted over and over and over again. My life just gets better and better. And not my exterior life, but what you don't see inside. And then what you do see when you encounter me. Because I know it. I'm owning it now. I'm receiving who I am. My essential self. You talk about my ears are burning. I'm feeling the energy just come up from the ground up. My life has changed. I can't even tell you. This is where I went to school as a child. This is where I went to school on this property. I was abused and hit for the first time as a child. So coming here full circle to do this training here is amazing. I make decisions now that are my decisions. I don't live for my mother, my brothers, my sister. I don't live for anybody but Anthony. I'm a musician. I'm a healer. I'm a businessman. I'm an employee. I'm a brother, a lover, a friend. And I can do that on my own, whether you like me or not. And that's important, whether you like me or not. I can do that. I can stand on my own with Anthony Creator, and that's it. And I'm not saying that I don't need you, but now I can want you. I can accept you in my life. There's a song by a group called the Hot House Flowers, and the verse goes like this. I remember as a little child kicking against a stone wall I built around myself. I won't give in, I won't feel guilty, I'll just rise up and I'll be myself. I've been kicking the stones out of that wall one at a time, every day when I wake up in the morning. And I'm free. I'm free from the bondage of self. I'm free from the bondage of that expectation, spoken and unspoken of other people. And if you're here, you're here. You know, and if you find value in what you're learning today, there's so much more life value here for you. And I'm here to tell you, just ask me questions after if you want. this asking.
Thank you, great. Okay. So I want to just tell you what is involved.